Hello my dear learners, I am again with the lecture of antenna and wave propagation. I am Dr. Pawan Kumar Shukla and I am going to deliver a new topic in the field of electromagnetic field theory and antenna and wave propagation. Now my topic of discussion will be the coordinate systems, the conversion of different coordinate system into one another, what is the del operator, what are the applications and the usage of divergence, curl, gradient, and what is the applications and physical interpretation of these terms in electromagnetic field theory and antenna and wave propagation. So, let us start the topic like conversion of coordinate systems. As I have discussed and delivered 2 or 3 or more lectures on the vector calculus, vector algebra and coordinate systems, and I think they are much more capable to make you understand the theory of electromagnetic radiation, what is the basic prerequisite for understanding this subject on the basis of vector, and the coordinate system which is the backbone of any wireless system. Before starting this transformation or conversion and to implement these conversion formulas for different parameters, for different quantities, it is my duty to make you realize that how these fundamentals are important. Actually, जब भी हम वायरलेस कम्युनिकेशन की बात करते हैं या जब भी हम फ्री स्पेस की बात करते हैं, तो फ्री स्पेस की किसी भी चीज़ को डिफाइन करने के लिए हमें एक ओरिएंटेशन की ज़रूरत होती है. फ्री स्पेस बहुत बड़ा है, अनंत, इनफाइनाइट, बट टू डिफाइन a definite quantity, a definite characteristic, it is very necessary to define the orientation of that. और उस orientation को define करने के लिए हमें एक definite coordinate system की ज़रूरत पड़ती है, और उस coordinate system के different versions जो कार्टेशियन कोऑर्डिनेट सिस्टम, सिलेंड्रिकल कोऑर्डिनेट सिस्टम और स्फेरिकल कोऑर्डिनेट सिस्टम के फॉर्म में हमने दिए हैं, हम उन कोऑर्डिनेट सिस्टम को यूज करके, जरूरी नहीं है कि एक ही कोऑर्डिनेट सिस्टम हर जगह यूज हो जाए. बहुत सारी ऐसी एप्लीकेशंस होती हैं जहां पर एक एरिया या वॉल्यूम इस तरीके का होता है जहां पर हमें एक स्फीयर, एक सिलेंडर, एक लाइन या अलग अलग तरीके की, हमने पिछले लेक्चर्स में ये देखा है कि जनरली हम 3 तरीके के डिफरेंशियल क्वांटिटीज़ की बात करते हैं. एक है लीनियर, एक है सरफेस और एक है वॉल्यूम. और इन तीनों ही तरीके की बात हम इसलिए करते हैं क्योंकि हम आगे आने वाले समय में जब हम इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक फील्ड थ्योरी या एंटीना एंड वेव प्रोपोगेशन का एक अपग्रेडेड, अपडेटेड एंड स्पेसिफिक वर्जन पढ़ेंगे, तब उसमें सारी की सारी चीज़ें जो इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक रेडिएशन को प्रोड्यूस कर सकती हैं वो इन तीनों फॉर्म में होंगी. बिकॉज आवर सब्जेक्ट इज डेडिकेटेड टू ऑल दोज components from where the electromagnetic radiations are generated or radiated in free space. So, all these 3 kinds of differential forms of the conducting elements have been discussed and studied in this topic. पहला differential element in length, यानी कि differential length. डिफरेंशियल लेंथ का मतलब यह है कि अगर हम किसी एक कंडक्टिंग वायर जो लीनियर है, यानी कि फॉर्म ऑफ एनी एंटीना विच इज लीनियर, दैट विल बी डिस्कस्ड इन द differential length form. Second, when we get the differential surface या differential area, it means when there is anything in the form of a plane, a surface form, means in the form of two dimensional view, then it will be described in terms of differential surface area or differential area. But if we take an object like thing, then we have to take the differential volume. So, all these conversions and transformations are important, because in different applications, different coordinates, different forms of the objects can be taken, and we have to solve all these problems. So, first of all, we will discuss what is the conversion of Cartesian coordinate system into cylindrical coordinate system. As we all know that in Cartesian coordinate system, the representation is done by x, y and z, and cylindrical coordinate system, this representation is done by r, phi and z. So, the conversion of x, y, z into r, phi and z is done here. You can see in this diagram, in this picture, that what is the relationship between the x, y, z to the r, phi and z. Z is always same, because it is in the same axis, it is in the same height, it is in the same from origin to that particular distance. So, that z axis and the z parameter is always fixed for the Cartesian and cylindrical, whatever the representation in the z direction. But the representation of x and y in terms of r and phi are given like this. R is the radius of the circle in that cylinder, and that is represented in the form of Cartesian component like x is equal to r cos phi and y is equal to r sin phi. You can see here from this diagram. So, in the case of any vector A in the cylindrical coordinate system, when we represent the cylindrical component in the radial vector like AR, this AR is given as AX cos phi plus AY sin phi. In the same way, the cylindrical component in the direction of phi, A phi, can be given as minus AX sin phi plus AY cos phi, and AZ is same like AZ. These three components in cylindrical coordinate system r, phi and z can be notified in terms of x and y like this. R is equal to under root x square plus y square simply, phi is equal to tan inverse y upon x and z is equal to z, in the same manner like Cartesian coordinate system. If we convert in reverse manner like r in terms of x, phi in terms of x y, z in terms of z, then we can also show these equations like this. R is equal to x cos phi plus y sin phi, phi is equal to minus x sin phi plus y cos phi and z is equal to z. We have to use these formulations to develop a system to solve the problems in the electromagnetic field theory. This is the conversion between a spherical coordinate system and Cartesian coordinate system. The different components in Cartesian coordinate system x, y and z can be represented in spherical coordinate system components like this, that x is equal to r s sin theta cos phi, where this r s is the radial vector, or you can say the distance from the origin to that distant point P, which point is represented as x, y, z or r theta phi. So, the conversion of this P point, which is represented by r theta and phi, if we want to replace this in terms of P point as x, y, z, then these x, y, z will have the value of Rs sin theta cos phi, Rs sin theta sin phi and Rs cos theta. In this manner, we can also show that this distance factor or this radius Rs will be described as under root x square plus y square plus z square, means the sphere will be of the radius under root x square plus y square plus z square, theta will be like tan inverse under root x square plus y square upon z and phi is equal to tan inverse y upon x. You can see here in this diagram, in this picture, it is clearly shown. Now, come to the a very unique characteristic of an operator which is known as del operator. To define this del operator in the electromagnetic field theory, when we will discuss the electromagnetic field, we will discuss the electrostatics, we will discuss the magnetic field, the different charge and current densities, the different conducting elements which are having these capabilities to develop the electromagnetic radiation around it. We will have to solve the different partial differential equations to get the electromagnetic radiation, because all the theory, all the things are based on the electromagnetic radiation. हम जिस सब्जेक्ट की बात कर रहे हैं उस सब्जेक्ट में मैक्सिमम पोर्शन फ्री स्पेस में एग्जिस्ट होने वाले उस इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक रेडिएशन पर बेस्ड है जो डिफरेंट कंडक्टिंग एलिमेंट्स के थ्रू जनरेट हो रहा है, और उसको मैथमेटिकल हम केवल एनालिसिस कर सकते हैं, बिकॉज इट इज अ थ्योरेटिकल कॉन्सेप्ट to understand that electromagnetic radiation exists around us. We can feel it and we can solve it in the mathematical form by using the different equations. This cannot be done in an experimental way. So, different theories have been developed to solve these mathematical expressions, and the Maxwell equations are the most important assets in this field. To solve the different partial differential equations, we use an operator. चूँकि हमने पिछले कुछ लेक्चर्स में और आज के भी लेक्चर में हम ये देखते हैं कि हमें किसी भी कोऑर्डिनेट सिस्टम में किसी भी स्पेसिफिक लेंथ, स्पेसिफिक एरिया या स्पेसिफिक वॉल्यूम को डिफाइन करने के लिए उसके डिफरेंशियल पॉइंट्स चाहिए होते हैं, और उन डिफरेंशियल चीज़ों को डिफाइन करने के लिए हमें डिफरेंट कोऑर्डिनेट सिस्टम में उसका ओरिएंटेशन भी अलग अलग देखना पड़ता है. नाउ we will discuss a operator which will be used frequently in the electromagnetic field theory to describe the different mathematical notations to solve the different problems. So, this is known as the del operator. Del is also known as nebula. This del operator or nebula in vector calculus is known as the vector differential operator. Generally, it is used in the form of inverted triangle. ट्रायंगल को उल्टा कर दिया जाए तो जिस तरीके का नोटेशन बनता है, दिस नेबुला और डेल ऑपरेटर इज डिफाइंड इन दैट फॉर्म. When this del operator or nebula is applied to a function defined on a one dimensional domain, it denotes standard derivative as defined in calculus. You already know about all these things, because in vector calculus or in general calculus, when we define the differentiation part, that is dy by dx, dy by dx, this is the differentiation with respect to x, but that function y, what is the differentiation and what is the partial differentiation? Differentiation is always done with respect to a single quantity, but partial differentiation is different from that differentiation. Means the function y can take any parameter and those parameters can be changed. So, partial differentiation is defined by del by del x, d by dx and del by del x both are different. Partial differentiation is termed as del by del x, but differentiation is termed as d by dx. Here this del operator, del by del x, it is a very important notation, and when applied to a different kind of field like a function defined in multi-dimensional domain, it may denote the gradient, the divergence of a vector field, or the curl, which is known for the rotation purposes of a vector field, and depending on the way it is applied. These are some of the applications of this del operator which are very frequently used in the electromagnetic field theory and antenna and wave propagation. Strictly speaking, when we talk about the del operator, it is not an specific operator, but rather a convenient mathematical notation for those three operators that makes many equations easier to write and solve the problems. Generally, these three applications which I have described in terms of divergence, gradient and curl, these are three kinds of applications where the understanding of this del operator is different, but try to understand the del by del x, del by del y, del by del z. This is the del operator in Cartesian coordinate system. In the same way, cylindrical coordinate system, the notation of this del operator is different. In the spherical coordinate system, the notation of this del operator is different. You can see here. Anyway, now come to the application part of this del operator. As you know that del operator is defined for all those differential equations in which the characteristics of a function are defined in different forms. These three applications are described in this slide. Likewise, the divergence, gradient and curl, all these three applications are implemented in a different manner by using the del operator. In this slide, as it is given that the del symbol can be interpreted as a vector of partial differential operators, and its three possible meanings, gradient, divergence and curl, can be formally used as the product with a scalar, a dot product and a cross product. And these three interpretation of del operator are having the different meanings in the field of electromagnetic radiation. Like if we talk about simply a divergence, divergence is the dot product, means the resultant of the divergence comes in the form of a scalar quantity simply, because del is automatically a vector quantity, and when we take the divergence of a vector quantity, then the dot product of these two quantities will be in the form of a scalar. So, divergence of a vector quantity can be defined as the del by del x plus del by del y plus del by del z. So, these manner manners of representation are having the different physical significance in all different applications. In the same way, gradient is simply a del operator application for the scalar quantities, means gradient of a scalar function. Gradient, when the scalar function comes in the effect of a del operator, then it becomes a vector quantity. It means the gradient of a scalar function is a vector quantity simply. And the last one, curl operation means del cross that vector quantity, obviously it is a vector. So, the physical significance and the interpretation of all these three applications of del operator is different. And when we discuss these implementations in the electromagnetic field theory, then it provides the different solutions, multiple versatile solutions of the different complicated problems. Generally in solving the Maxwell equations, generally in solving the different partial differential equations for the different fields like electric field or magnetic field. So, we will discuss in brief these three implementations of del operator. How we use simply, it is the divergence form of a del operator. Divergence word has itself some meaningful things, and those meaningful things are described here in this diagram. You can see, without showing any mathematical notation or expression, you can see in this diagram that divergence has itself a meaning, and this is shown here. This is the positive divergence, this is the negative divergence, and this is the zero divergence. Divergence V, the divergence of a vector V written as divergence V represents the scalar quantity, that is completely a scalar quantity. A scalar quantity means divergence dot V, means del dot V, it is equal to del Vx upon del x plus del Vy upon del y plus del Vz upon del z. It means this is the sum of three scalar quantities, del Vx upon del x plus del Vy upon del y plus del Vz upon del z. All these three components are scalar quantities, and this diagram shows when the energy is diverged, then this is known as positive divergence. When the energy is stored, this is negative divergence, and when the flow of energy is continuous, then it is zero divergence. One of the best example can also be shown here. This is a water tank, and when the flow of water is continuous, means यहाँ से टैंक से पानी लगातार जा रहा है, स्प्रेड हो रहा है, फैल रहा है, बाहर निकल रहा है, then the divergence is positive. When the flow is continuous, जितना आ रहा है उतना ही जा रहा है, this is divergence 0, and when the storage is done, then it means the divergence is negative. This is a simple formula for the divergence. Now, to understand the physical significance of the divergence of a vector quantity represents the rate of change of the field strength in the direction of the field. It is a very important thing to understand, because यहाँ पर हम जो फिजिकल सिग्निफिकेंस की बात कर रहे हैं, वो फिजिकल सिग्निफिकेंस वो हमें रिफ्लेक्ट होगा हमारे सब्जेक्ट में. जब हम इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड की बात करेंगे या मैग्नेटिक फील्ड की बात करेंगे, या जब हम रेट ऑफ चेंज की बात करेंगे, in that case this divergence will be used. if the divergence of the vector field is positive at a point, then something is diverging from a small volume surrounding with the point as a source. Although the electric field, magnetic field, the electromagnetic radiation, basically these are diverging. हम जो हवा की बात करते हैं कि हवा में है, तो हवा में इस वजह से है क्योंकि इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक रेडिएशन इज डाइवर्जिंग, वो किसी एक ऑब्जेक्ट, किसी एक कंडक्टिंग एलिमेंट से डाइवर्ज हो रहा है, एंड दैट डाइवर्जेंस इज प्रेजेंट in the free space. We have to calculate that divergence. This is the physical significance. If it is negative, then something is converging into the small volume surrounding that point is acting as a sink. The same thing like a source and sink, कोई दे रहा है, कोई ले रहा है. Something is positive divergence, something is in the position of negative divergence. This is the basic theory of communication. Source, sink, transmitter, receiver. Source, destination. The information transfer, something is transmitted and something is received. Okay. So, generally we use wherever this divergence is 0, it is called as solenoid. Okay. So, these are the things. This is the gradient, this is the gradient operator, and the gradient operator is defined like this, and in this gradient we simply see that a scalar function phi of the gradient or the del operator is known as del phi by del x, del phi by del y, and del phi by del z, where this phi is a scalar function and the gradient of phi is defined as del phi, simply no dot, no cross, simply grad phi, gradient of phi, del phi is equal to I del phi by del x plus j del phi by del y plus k del phi by del z, where I, j, k are the unit vectors in the direction of x, y and z when we talk about the Cartesian coordinate system. Okay. So, the magnitude of this vector gives the maximum rate. It means this gradient phi is a vector quantity which is having the 3 components in I, j and k direction. This is the curl. Curl of a vector field. Curl means cross product, del cross v. If v is a vector function, vector quantity, then the curl of this v can be defined as del cross v, and del cross v you can see here in the matrix form. This is I, j, k, del by del x, del by del y, del by del z, v x, v y, v z. This is also a vector quantity, and you will see that the different components in the direction of I, j and k will be explained in the form of the different components when we elaborate this matrix version. Physically, the curl of a vector field represents the rate of change of the field strength in a direction right angles to the field and is a measure of rotation of something in a small volume surrounding a particular point. This is the basic significance of the curl operation, and this rotation is defined in this next slide, which is represented for the operation of curl. The first diagram shows that no rotation of the paddle wheel represents 0 curl. There is no rotation. Rotation of the paddle wheel showing the existence of curl. This is the existence of curl, means if the rotation is being held, the curl is existing, and the third figure shows the direction of the curl. For vector fields whose curl is 0, there is no rotation of the paddle wheel. When it is placed in the field, such fields are called as the irrotational fields. So, this was the representation of all these three components: gradient, divergence and curl. We will use very frequently in electromagnetic field theory and antenna and wave propagation these terms, and I hope you will understand. Kindly go through my previous lectures, you will find the basic prerequisite of this subject. Thank you very much.